much for tuning in to Tips and Tricks in Private Practice. I'm Francisca Mix, the owner of Francisca Consulting and Counseling. It's time to become that social butterfly because we are going to learn how in-person marketing strategies increase your visibility and develop the know, like, trust factors for your private practice. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the third video of the Summer Lovin series for the month of June. If you haven't tuned in, you can definitely go back to the prior episodes to learn that I am talking about, well, we've got the natural lull in private practice. It's called the summertime. And now is the time to schedule and talk about your entire summer schedule with your clients. And in fact, when you're not in session, you can split that free time between, getting outdoors and then really starting to master your marketing efforts for your strategies. Now, I've already reviewed big overview of online strategies, which is like digital marketing strategies, and then the offline or the in-person strategy. So today we're going to be talking about how to be that social butterfly and the reasons for it. Number one, marketing truly is, in a nutshell, just about informing people, your community, who you are, what you love to do, and how you might actually provide some support or solutions or add value for those that are really searching for your services. Okay, that's it. That's all that marketing is. And hopefully you took the cue from last video to sit down and really ask yourself, what do I naturally like to do? Like, what are your natural talents? Are you more a people person? Are you a bit more introverted? Do you prefer to write, or do you like to talk like me? So that will actually support you when figuring out what strategies to use, because you don't need to do all of them, because that's nearly impossible unless you've got a team and you can have people, managing each leg of your strategy. So in-person marketing strategy include power partnerships. How are you developing power partner? And a power partner is somebody who offers a different service, but yet you both are servicing or supporting the same client. Okay, for instance, let's say that I've got an example like me. So I'm a private practice consultant. So I work with individuals like yourself who are interested in launching, building, growing, becoming more masterful, not only in their clinical skill set, but really in the business of psychotherapy. So supporting individuals with the how-tos and how to really create their operations and their systems and processes, as well as marketing, so that they can really continue to do what they really love. And that is sitting in the seat and supporting other people. So that's my clientele. I have power partners with website developers, web designers, because they are also working with individuals who are needing a service to develop their website. And so I have my, the Rolodex. Did I just date myself or what? I've got my list of friendly neighbors in the web developing design land. And we definitely offer those referrals to one another. So through the word of mouth of being a power partner. Another example would be if you focus in on addiction recovery services, you might want to be introducing yourself to local or even national recovery centers, right? And so that's a strategy, and there's a step-by-step in how to develop, nurture, and maintain. So depending on who you like to work with, whoever your ideal client is, get creative and think about what other auxiliary supports or team members would they reach out for additional help. And chances are you can start identifying a power partner. You can actually network with that person. You can email them. You can send them cookies. You can stop by their office. You can do so many things so that you can start introducing yourself and networking. Now, networking is pretty important because you want people to know that you exist, right? Now, we're back into the normal things. We're back into getting in person, going to conferences, doing all those fun things that we used to love before the pandemic. Things are getting back to that really fast. So how do you network? You can attend a meetup group, which is in person. Lots of times I see if you're a group member of a Facebook group, like say a local therapist group in your town, there's some folks who post some social gatherings, right? Like, oh, we're going to have a meetup. Let's meet at this little brewery. And, not that you have to have alcohol or anything, but you're there to just meet other professionals, get to know your community members, and so that they get to know you as well. So networking, you can do meetup groups. You also, believe it or not, I know this isn't the primary reason, but joining a peer consultation group is a form of networking. I know the primary reason for a consult group, and I applaud you if you are part of those, because I'm going to bust the myth that just because you're licensed, you don't need support. That is hogwash. It's called BS. You do. We all have blind spots. I can't see my hands, even though I know they're there. We all have blind spots, and we are not to practice in vacuums or in isolation. So join a peer consult group. This is a form of networking. You get to actually hobnob on a consistent basis with other professionals who get to know you and you get to know them. And lastly, other ways of networking, believe it or not, when you are working with a client and they want you to contact another professional that they're working with, say their dietitian or their family practitioner, the nurse practitioner, P.S., that is a form of networking. So you're going to want to make sure that you spend time when you're on that phone call to introduce yourself, to actually have your elevator pitch prepared and ready to go, because you are actually engaging. Even though you're calling for a client, you got to introduce yourself, right? You got to let them know, this is how long I've been practicing, this is who I am, these are the people that I work with. Oh, and P.S., ask them, right? You're going to want to form a relationship. Marketing is about developing relationships and how you nurture them over time. And before you know it, you're going to have an influx of clients, your ideal client, mind you, knocking on your door or calling and picking up the phone and sending you emails and wanting to book discovery calls or consultation calls with you. So these are all approaches to actually get that done. Now, in person definitely helps. I just mentioned visibility, and you're developing the know, like, trust factors for your private practice. I'm pretty sure that you don't just flip over your credit card just because you see somebody for the first time and they've got something really important to say only one time, right? No, that doesn't work that way. When you're marketing and you're networking, you're actually putting yourself, you're becoming more visible by everybody out there in the marketplace. Visibility is important, because if you're not visible, then nobody knows you are there. And not only that, but the more visible you are, the more people see you, or hear of you, then that naturally builds a like quality. Did you know the more you hang out with somebody, naturally you will like them more? So in-person strategies naturally support the know, like, trust factor. Now, trust is about how are you establishing and developing your credibility and your expertise in the marketplace. So if you're visible and you do it consistently over time, people start going, oh yeah, I remember seeing Francisca. She had that YouTube thing, or I got her newsletter. If you're not, you got to put your stuff, in the comments. Go to my website. You know how to do it, right? So that you can be getting all my information, and hopefully it's really valuable, right? So in-person and digital marketing strategies, it help you with your know, like, trust factors. Now, networking, that was one big one for in-person. The second actually is public speaking. Now, I did mention Conferences are happening. Everybody's kind of getting together again. Everyone's ready to travel. If you haven't done so, I'm hopeful you've planned your vacation and you're looking forward to it and you're all excited about it. Public speaking is another marketing strategy, an in-person marketing strategy. And this truly does it gets you into the exponential exposure of visibility. Think about it like this. You submit a proposal, you're approved, right? You're accepted. Normally, depending on how large the conference is, you can have anywhere from 10 to hundreds of people who attend, okay? And your name is on that roster, okay? Your name, your credentials, your website, every conference has their own criteria or things that they actually mention for all their presenters. And I'm not just limiting it to a conference. I'm saying if you like to offer workshops or webinars, okay, this is public speaking. Or you're going to, talk about something at a community event. Festivals are happening in the summertime. Maybe there's, events happening that you would like to participate in, okay? Public speaking is a fabulous way. If you like to be that social butterfly and you enjoy the training component, being a trainer educator, public speaking is definitely up your alley as a marketing strategy. This is very intentional of how you're building your know, like, trust factor so that more people see you over time, consistently over time, right? So what do you think of that, folks? If you're the social butterfly, in-person marketing strategies is up your alley. Now, you're probably wondering, but how do I actually do it? It's quite simple. Number one, you want to start defining your ideal client. If you're into the networking approach of like, okay, let me just join up and start hobnobbing. You're going to want to be prepared for your elevator pitch. How do you introduce yourself? How do you speak from a place of passion and purpose and clarity? You're going to want you want that clarity so you're not mumbo jumbo. You only have like a minute or two to make an impression when you're networking. Now, it's also important to know that you're there to actually take in information because you're creating a referral list, a referral community that if someone calls you, they might not be your ideal client, but you're going to know Susie Q that you met at that networking event. And you're going to say, I might have someone in store for you, and you pass along that information. So it is really a two-way street when you're networking. Public speaking, you're going to want to identify, number one, what are the topics that you love to talk about? Number two, you're going to want to start researching where those conferences are, where those events are, and really start looking at when the deadlines are to submit whatever you got to submit so that they can review your proposal and hopefully be accepted. Like, for instance, I know the Colorado Counseling Association, they're accepting proposals for their conference, which is in late August, all up in the Rocky Mountains. So if you're interested in getting your toe wet with this, I highly encourage you to act on it. Now, I'm sure no matter what state you're in, you have your own state counseling association. Go to their website, find out when those deadlines are, and submit a proposal. Don't worry, they walk you through what's needed on their proposals so that you can get into public speaking. And you're using this as a strategy to get yourself out there so that you're more visible, so that you're actually working those edges of establishing yourself as a credible and an expert in whatever you're sharing. Well, folks, that's a lot of information. But again, marketing strategies truly support your ability to be very intentional so that you can get outdoors and let that work help you really develop the flow of clients over time. All right, folks. Well, that was it. We kind of dived a little bit deeper into the marketing strategies of in-person approaches through networking, developing power partnerships, and actually utilizing public speaking so that you can your visibility and develop that know, like, trust factor for your private practice. If you have any questions, you have any thoughts, stick them in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on next week. Deeper dive on the digital marketing strategies. So thanks again for tuning in and be well.